Hello and welcome to some more Cardfight Vanguard Zero. So I've done some thinking. This video was originally going to be a gold rutile video. I was like, wouldn't it be fun if I just shoved gold rutile onto some ranks, fights and just see how it does, just for fun, basically. I'm not really feeling it, mainly because I did some test fights with gold rutile off screen, just so I would actually know what I was doing in the video, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like the deck that much. Now, if you like gold rutile, that's fine. I'm not judging you for that, right? If you like playing gold rutile, that's cool. I'm okay with that. I just don't really enjoy the playstyle. You know the thing I've been saying all this time about enjoying Oracle Think Tank's playstyle? It's true. And so I'm thinking I'm just gonna stick with Oracle Think Tank, as I mentioned multiple times. So that's just what we're gonna do. So we've got some crafting materials for Oracle Think Tank, because I've been doing a bunch of you know, the quick fights off screen and stuff, and I'm thinking our biggest problem I feel like with Oracle Think Tank is that we're missing some good grade 3s. I think we need to strengthen those. So that's what I'm thinking. So okay. So yeah, we can afford one of these. During your turn, if your hand has two or more cards, this unit gets 4,000. When placed, return all your rare cards to hand. That's a really good card. Whoops. And then there's Apollon, which we can also afford. When this unit's attack hits, counterblast to draw 2 cards and return a card from your hand to your deck. When this unit's attacks hits, counterblast to draw a card. So basically, do we want draw power, or do you want the power? I think I'm gonna go Apollon. Don't know if that's the good move to do or not, but we really need those good grade 3s, so I feel like either of those would have been a good option. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to go into our deck building and slot Apollon in, basically. And then after that, I think we're gonna do some more story stuff. I've been neglecting it. I know I want to rank up pretty quickly because this season's getting there in terms of ending. We're not there yet, of course, but you know, the more time we spend, the more the season's gonna progress, and I do want to get to Legend, but I feel like I've been putting off the story stuff, mainly just because, honestly, if there is a criticism I'm gonna give this game, story stuff is not as engaging as the story stuff just isn't as engaging as the ranked stuff. Once you've got to the point where you're doing the ranked fights and stuff, at least for me anyway, I've just been like, I just want to do ranked fights now. But no, I need to pay attention to the story stuff, and yeah, it's wanting me to play a story ride 19, so I guess that's what we're just gonna do this episode, because we've just been putting it off, and I know we want to be doing the story stuff, so let's just do it. So, okay. Oh, cool. I said I wasn't going to be doing the gold rutile thing, but I guess the story's making us do it anyway, so cool. I guess, okay, 2 birds with 1 stone then, I guess. So let's do that. Let's do my gold rutiles. Alright. And then there's Transriser. So yeah, everything in this game is wanting me to pay attention to Nova Grappler, but that's fine. I didn't know that MC Mia was his name. I never knew they gave him a name. Alright. Boy, that is the most, like, generic character design they've ever given a Vanguard character, huh? Quick, we gotta get this episode out fast, but we need someone for community card fight that's new. Oh, you know what? I quite like that hand. Yeah, we need someone for community card fight that he hasn't card fighted yet. Here's an unfinished character design. Oh, cool, we're doing Mega Colony again. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, boy, that character design leaves a lot to be desired. Okay. So, we're gonna send out Tough Boy, because I like Tough Boy. And then we'll send that there. And then, when attacked by the Vanguard, this unit is boosted hits the Vanguard. I guess I'll put that there for future proofing. I'm gonna be smart here, because I don't need it now. Oops. I don't need it now. In fact, what I would have done is I would have put him out in the front rear guard, just to ensure that I get that second attack in. But we don't need it, because we just got a crit, apparently. And I think it's more useful to have him there so that we can use his ability later on when we get up to the grade 2s and 3s. So, okay, so he's going to paralyze that, so that's going to just... Alright, fine. See how it is. Just destroy my entire strategy, although I guess that's the point of Mega Colony, right? So, I heard that Mega Colony got buffed, because apparently, and... Oh boy, this is really funny. But apparently, originally... paralyzes were so easily like nullified and avoidable in the past. Like you'd paralyze their unit and they just wouldn't give a shit. They'd be like, oh, okay. And you could just kind of for example, let's see if we can actually. Okay, we can just get rid of, okay, fair enough then. Wow, that's not great. That's not great. That's, so I'm going to send out Transriser and hope I get a better grade 2 to replace him with. Or I'm just not going to get anything. Basically, yeah. And I know I have Humpty Dumpty, but I'll just use Humpty Dumpty next turn. Basically, Transriser I do not like. And you're probably thinking, why are you running him then? And that's a good question, actually. That's one I don't have an answer for. I think he'd be really good if his effect didn't force you to shuffle your deck afterwards. It's the thing. Because basically, his effect is you check the top card on your deck. If it's grade 2 or lower, then you can just call it out to the field. And then if it isn't, then you put it back in your deck and shuffle your deck. If it didn't force you to shuffle, I think it would actually be a pretty good card, because then you could use it in the same way the Oracle Think Tank uses those kinds of effects, where basically you'd either get a grade 2 or lower, which means that you could call it out and use this effect normally, or it would be a grade 3, and grade 3s are triggers in this game, remember? And you'd be able to know whether or not you have a trigger on the top of your deck, but the fact that you have to shuffle your deck afterwards really ruins that. And it can be kind of insulting. I mean, insulting is a harsh word, I guess, but it can be kind of insulting because that card could have been a crit that you really would have needed or wanted, but too bad it's getting shuffled back in, so... yeah, I think I want to send him out. Engineer tanks can... Yeah, that's not a bad effect. And then this one... Yeah, so I'm gonna want to do that, and then I'll do that. And then I'm just gonna destroy him, basically. Yeah, sure, let's do that. Why not, basically? Why not? When in Rome. Yeah, and then we're just gonna... Yeah, we're going to do this, and then we'll attack with our other front rear guard. No, we won't. We can't. Well, okay, we'll attack with our Vanguard and just hope, basically, then. Which is my strategy a little bit too often. Yep, okay, cool. We get that. Nice. And then, I guess... So do we want this attack to go through, or do we want the next attack to go through? Why did I not boost? Is the question I keep asking myself. Yeah, we'll give it to ourselves. Yeah, why did I not boost? I, by all accounts, should have boosted. But you know what, I don't think it matters because we can win. But that's the thing. I don't think enough. I just kind of go, and that's counterintuitive to, like, the point. And if that was a ranked battle, that I would have been fucked. They would have took advantage of that. They would have perfect guarded that, and I wouldn't been able to do anything about it. So, luckily for me, it was just a story mission, but yeah, I know the story missions get quite difficult later on, so they wanted us to get to, yeah, ride 19, so I guess we're just going to keep going. When using Haguro, when using 6 turns, and yeah, boy, these starting off, the funny thing is I barely even remember these characters in the anime. The ones that we're currently fighting against in the story, so yeah, there's that. Because they don't really do anything, do they? Aichi and the others just fight them, and then Aichi and the others win, and then that's kind of it, really. They don't do anything. Which is funny, because people always criticize Genie, right? And that's fine if you don't like the G anime, that's cool and all, but I feel like even the small fry, like one-off card fights that Team Tri-Free have early on, at least those are more memorable than these ones here. I mean, again, it's not the biggest issue in the world, right? I'm not gonna spend too much of this Vanguard Zero playthrough talking about the anime and everything, but I've got G on the mind recently. Because a lot of people, and the reason I have G on the mind is because a lot of people will criticize G and everything. Like, the past few years, ever since G started, people have been going on about how much they were disappointed by G and like the original more. And if that's your opinion, that's cool. I don't mind, right? I'm not here to judge opinions, right? But it's more the random sounding sort of like people criticizing G and saying that it's a step down from the original and that they don't like it, and that the reboot is an improvement upon that because the original characters are back, right? And I can understand that mindset to an extent. You know, if you really didn't like G, then getting the old stuff you do like back again, I can see why that would be seen as an improvement. But then we've come full circle is the part that really confuses me. Because we've come full circle to the point where we're rebooting G supposedly in Shin. I don't know how that fully works. And I think that Bushiroad are intentionally being as confusing as possible when it comes to G reboot. But I feel like, you know, with the stuff that's happened in the anime recently and the release of the Tri-Free trial decks, I think we can agree that G is rebooted in some way, shape, or form. And it's just weird because now people are getting all nostalgic over that. You know what, I'm going to activate that skill so that I don't have to use... Oh yeah, no, I that's the thing about Kagero is I always forget to use this ability and I've kind of fucked myself, so whoops, maybe next turn. Yeah, I need to remember to keep using my Forerunner's ability as Kagero because that's a really good ability. Yeah, I'll do this, and then I'll just see what trigger it was I would have gotten out of curiosity, basically. Just because why not, right? I just want to see what it would have been. Okay, would have been a draw trigger. I can still capitalize upon the draw at the very least. Even if I can't capitalize on the power. Throat's feeling a little sore. Just recorded the 1,000 subscriber special, so that's why that is. But yeah, so I've had G on the mind because of the reboot. And it's just funny to see people get nostalgic and everything over G, which, by the way, I've got to the point with Vanguard where nostalgia baiting just doesn't even work on me anymore. I feel like the past few years for Vanguard has been nothing but taking advantage of people's nostalgia. Even the end of G to some extent, actually, because the end of G brought back Aichi and everything. So, like, it just feels like ever since 2017, they've been doing nothing but trying to capitalize upon your nostalgia. That it was kind of inevitable that they would come full circle like this, and so I expect it, and nothing nullifies nostalgia quite like knowing that the nostalgic thing is going to happen. So I'm going to use that ability because I'm not an idiot anymore, and I'm going to use that to get my perfect guard. So, haha. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that back, and then what I'll do is I'll do that. Haha, clever, I'm smart. And then I guess I'll put this out, oops, because there's no reason not to really. And then I'll battle, and then I guess I'm just gonna, oh, that's not what I meant to do. I let go of the button, it's just touchscreen, whatever. I let go of the thing too soon, basically. But you know what, he only has 1 damage left. I feel like I can get away with this. I don't think the AIs use perfect guards, so I think I should be fine. Yeah, okay, cool, I'm good. Oh boy. But basically, yeah, the nostalgic baiting doesn't work on me. That doesn't work on me anymore with Vanguard. Back in the day when G did it well, and it worked. And I was like, hell yeah, Aichi, because they made us wait for it and they made us earn it because it didn't happen for a long time. And when the character came back, they progressed in universe. And I guess this is turned into one of my episode reviews. If you're someone who has stuck around with the channel long enough to have watched my episode reviews, which, by the way, those are probably coming back soon. don't worry, I haven't fully neglected them. I've just come up with a plan regarding them. But yeah, when Aichi came back, it felt earned, and he had changed, and so there was a reason to bring him back. Now, however, it's just when they bring back the characters, it's a character that's reset back to 0, which, by the way, that's the reason this game's called Cardfight Vanguard Zero. For anyone who's wondering, it took me a little while to figure that out too. The reason this game is called Cardfight Vanguard Zero is because it's resetting everything back to 0, because we're starting from the beginning of the 2011 anime, and the cards we're using are the cards from around 2011. That's why it's called Vanguard Zero, because it's reset everything back to 0, which is honestly what the Reboot anime should have been called, because that's exactly what the Reboot anime did. But yeah, it's just funny to see this nostalgia pandering work on people, and hey, if it's worked on you, that's not me judging. If you're the kind of person who's like, yay, Aichi's back, yay, Chrono's back, he's got his Gear Chronicles again, then hey, you know, I don't want to ruin that for you. It's just weird to see people relentlessly shit on Chrono for years and say that he's not as good a character as Aichi, and then when he comes back, everyone's like, yay, he's back again. Maybe it's a subset of different people, that's the thing. People in the fan base are going to have different opinions to each other, so maybe that's what it is. So to do this, I want to win a fight on normal, right? That's what I think I'm doing, so I guess I'm going to do that. And I guess we're going to use this deck, and we're just going to try and win, and maybe we'll be able to grade up, and if we can do that, then I'll consider that a successful episode. So yeah, I don't know, that's just something that's been on my mind, because, I mean, it's something that's been on pretty much every Vanguard fan's mind, right? The two things on everyone's mind right now is, what's the deal with G coming back, and, oh cool, Zero's out. And that's basically it. I mean, I guess there's the new premium collection stuff, but I don't really care so much about the premium collection stuff, because I don't think Bushiroad wants us to care. That's another thing that kind of bothers me, by separating the card game like that and going, here's the new proper cards you should be playing with. Oh, and also you can kind of use the old stuff in the premium format if you want to. And by splitting them up like that, it just feels like there's a shift in priorities, and like they're just unnecessarily splitting up the fan base. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass here. Maybe I'm not. That's kind of why I like Zero, because yeah, Zero is definitely very separated from the actual card game. But it's a mobile game, so we can kind of get away with it, right? Yeah, if I put that there, then I can totally get that extra attack in. Actually, you know what? If I go the smarter route, I'll just do that. Activate that ability. Put that there for future-proofing. Battle. And then boom, now... See, I was trying to go like the hardest method possible to getting 2 attacks in, but I realized there's actually a way easier way of getting those 2 attacks in. And I get a crit anyway, so you know what? I'm gonna take that. I guess I'll give myself that power, even though I don't need it. And then boom. Okay, so we're making pretty good progress with this fight. See, the funny thing is I've kind of, because the story stuff is so just like whatever at the moment, I know it gets harder later. But because the current, like, missions and stuff they want you to do, I feel like it, see, it's going to be really embarrassing if I lose this now, but I feel like they're a bit under my pay grade right now, so I've just been letting my mind wander to other stuff. And, yeah, I've been thinking about a lot in terms of Vanguard recently, just because it's weird that the thing that and again, I never would have expected this, but the thing that's exciting me most when it comes to Vanguard is the mobile gacha game. This game has... like, blown past my expectations so effortlessly, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I need that, actually. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll boost with this, just to make sure I can get rid of that intercept. But then... yeah, I'll do this, and then I can get that extra attack in with my front red guard. I'm gonna use up my perfect guard, but you know what? That's fine. I mean, I say use up. It goes to the bottom of my deck. So realistically, if I can get to the point where I'm shuffling my deck, then I could still draw it, but I'm still gonna call it using up anyway. So okay, we are doing pretty well here. I was right when I said this was past my pay grade. So he's gonna use that to get rid of my intercept. I'm assuming, yeah. Okay, he's doing stuff. He is doing stuff. But this isn't like the ranked fights where you're constantly on edge the entire time because you need to win. This is more just like kind of a chill thing, which I mean, I like the variety. But that's the thing I'm saying is Vanguard Zero is so well put together considering what it is. I know there's a few things people are disappointed in regards to it, but I myself have been enjoying it so much. I can't call a Blaster Blade from my soul, so I don't know if it's worth using that yet. Although, to be fair, realistically, am I going to get a Blaster Blade anytime soon? That's a good point. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move that back there. And then, yeah. I'll retire that. And then I'll do that. And unfortunately, his intercepts are totally going to work, but that's fine. I only need to get one attack through to the Vanguard anyway, and I think I can do that assuming he doesn't get a heal or a perfect guard. So I think I should be safe here, basically. Yeah, okay, that was a pretty simple card fight. And I get a heal trigger too. Not one that I can use, but... I guess I'll just give it to myself. I feel so awkward about triggers that I can't use, yeah. I mean, I guess I could have got a stand there, but yeah, I'm just going to give that to myself again. When I say myself, I'm talking about the Vanguard, by the way. I'm not saying one of my units, as if giving it to my opponent was a choice. You know what, that would be a cool idea for a deck, actually. A deck where basically the idea is that that clan specifically allows you to give, yeah, it would be a clan where that clan and that clan only would have the ability to give your opponent your triggers. So you'd get a trigger and like a drive check and you'd give it to your opponent instead. But then they'd have some kind of like ability where and like say for example your grade 3 unit would have the ability where its attack only goes through if its attack is less than your opponent's Vanguard, right? That would be sick, actually. See, that's something else I've been thinking about, is if I was to make my own clan, like, as in, if I was to design, like, if I was approached by Bushiroad, and Bushiroad were like, hey, we want you to come up with a new clan, and then you'd have, like, a fairly unique ability or whatever. I always love thinking about, like, taking the mechanics of a game like this and turning them on their head, and I think that would be sick. So, yeah, you'd have a clan where the main unit is a grade 3 with stupidly high attack, right? So it would have like a base attack of like 12 or 13,000. Or, well, yeah. Which is quite high for a grade 3, at least in terms of Zero. I know that the current actual physical cards have much higher base attack than the Zero ones do, but bear with me here, right? And then... but its effect would be that attacks would basically be reversed, so that your attack only goes through if he has more damage than you. And that would only work on your turn only, of course, because that would be super broken if that worked on their turn. And basically the idea is that you'd want to be pulling crit triggers and giving them the power from that trigger to your opponent, so that they would overpower you, but it would do the damage to them anyway. Oh, I like that, actually. Hey, Bushiroad, if you're watching this video, send me the check in the mail, thanks. I'll email you my billing address. That's sick. Would it be broken? Probably, but I feel like any idea is possible as long as you balance the actual card that uses the actual cards that use that idea well enough. Because that's the cool thing about Vanguard, because everything's separated into clans like that, it's easier to balance. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where anything goes, you can just kind of use any cards with any cards. With Vanguard, no, you basically have to stick to each clan. I know it's possible to mix and match clans, but it's not going to get you very far. Which means it's easier to balance everything. So if you made a clan of stupidly high attack, where most of the cards within that clan could only benefit from an attack if your power was lower than your opponent, that would be sick. Oh boy, I kind of want to draw that. I kind of want to like draw some mock-up cards for that. That would be sick. That might be the thing that we do during like the boring episodes. Well, boring quote unquote, if you know what I mean. Yeah, okay, so what do we need to do to rank up now? Clear storyline 21, win against Aichi at level normal or greater 4 times in a row, and win against... Okay, so we can do these as quick fights, basically, can't we? So that should be pretty easy. So that's going to use up our stamina, but that's fine. If it's... if it's to get these grade up and if it's to get my grade up and everything, then it's fine. Yep, okay, cool, there's that. But yeah, during these more like menial, just, you know, kind of doing the busy work stuff, I think that would be fun, just kind of coming up with different ideas for clans. And if you have any ideas for clans that you have, whether it be one that you've already come up with in the past and you're just kind of sitting on, or it's one you're coming up with as you're thinking now, I totally want to hear it. That would be sick. I love hearing people's ideas for what they would do if they could make their own clan. And that's the rule I'm gonna set. It has to be a new clan. Can't just be a new card that goes in an already existing clan. Like, it can't be like, I would have a grade 3 Oracle Think Tank card that would allow me to draw 10 cards in my hand rather than 9. Although that would actually be pretty cool too. That's something you could totally cheese. But yeah, I want to hear your ideas for clans. Basically, and I want like the most creative and weird ones possible. Don't worry too much about how you balance it. I just want like really cool ideas for effects. Because I've been working on in my head, and it's something I mentioned in a previous video, so we need to do that with Masaki now too, right? Which is fine because we've already done a bunch of those off screen, so good. But yeah, I've been thinking about that. The one I came up with was called the Shift Phases, and they're a clan that would, and they'd be the only clan that could use a new effects type called Ride Triggers, where it would be a trigger on your grade 3s, which actually would work surprisingly well with Vanguard Zero, because Vanguard Zero puts the triggers on grade 3s anyway. But even in the physical card game, the triggers would be on the grade 3 unit, not the grade 0. And it'd be a ride trigger, right? And basically the whole strategy of the deck would be trying to ride your grade 3 before you actually would have been able to do that, right? So you're trying to get the grade 3 out before your opponent even has a grade 2 out, basically. However, the deck would be balanced around that because it would be similar to Oracle Think Tank, where you're trying to mill cards as fast as you can to just try and make sure you get that trigger. But the only downside to the deck is that the attack power would be piss. It would not be able to do much damage at all. So yes, you would have a grade 3 out on maybe even your first turn if you could, but it wouldn't really be able to do all that much damage. And so if the game goes on too long and you've got to the point where your opponent has grade 3s, then you'd be fucked. You just wouldn't be able to fight back against it. Yeah, it would be weak, and the storyline I came up with it because I basically, one video I've been working on in the background for a while now. It's called Cardfight Vanguard Shift, and it's where basically I come up with the idea for my own Cardfight Vanguard series, and I've been working on that in the background. I want to get that out eventually, but basically, yeah, I've been thinking of that and what the protagonist deck would be and everything, and that would be it. His deck would be the Shift Phases. And how it would work, basically, is even in universe, it would be a clan that no one plays. Because I think there's something funny about that, about the idea that the protagonist uses a clan that even in universe, the characters go, that's a clan that never gets support anymore because no one plays it. And even Bushiroad have kind of given up on it and everything, just because like they like to pretend it doesn't exist, because that just feels so like realistic to me, I guess, the idea that would happen, because I see stuff like that kind of happen in real life where people talk about clans that just don't get support anymore. And so to have that be a plot element in the anime would be sick. So yeah, I guess I've had the Cardfight Vanguard anime on my mind a bit recently. I guess it's because it's been a little too long since I've done any of my episode reviews, and instead I've just been playing Zero, but I don't know, that was a fun talk, so I guess I'm going to end it here. But yeah, that's the question I'm leading off with. If you have an idea for a clan, doesn't matter how vague or how well thought out it is, I don't mind, even if it is just a one sentence, what if cards could do this kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm looking for. What would you do if you could create your own clan from scratch and try to give it the most creative and weird effect possible. Because I want to hear that stuff, and maybe in future episodes I'll try and think of some more, because I really like that one where it revolves around trying to get as little attack power as possible and giving your triggers to your opponent. Oh god, I'm just thinking now, and I'm like, what if in that clan, right, where you get to give your triggers to your opponent, what if there was a deck archetype or just a card, right, that revolved around using as many draw triggers as possible and trying to deck your opponent out? So your opponent would be using their own draw triggers to draw cards, and you'd also be forcing them to use your own draw triggers too, and they just deck themselves out. That would be sick. I really like that, actually. That's such a weird and bizarre, like, deck. I really like that. And I might be going in Cardfight Vanguard Shift soon, actually. Just because that's so silly. But that's what I like. I like unique decks. But yeah, I'll see you later. Maybe we'll talk more about this in a future episode or not. But we will be doing some more story missions next time, so see you then, I guess. Oh,